Arun XLO Ziva, an elite active retirement community in Mahabalipuram, Chennai. For apartments and luxury villas, call 7288 7288.
Good afternoon, friends. I open the floor for questions and I welcome you to this press briefing. We start here, Umashankar.
उमाशंकर सिंह एनडीटीवी इंडिया से पाकिस्तान के प्रधानमंत्री शहबाज शरीफ जो हैं वो पाकिस्तान हो, ईरान हो या अजरबैजान हो, हर जगह से ये बात कह रहे हैं कि भारत के साथ बातचीत चाहते हैं और उन्होंने ये भी कहा है कि काउंटर टेररिज्म पे भी बात चाहते हैं। तो क्या भारत ने अपने स्टैंड में कोई बदलाव लाया है या ला सकते हैं या पहले की तरह अपने स्टैंड पे कायम है?
सिद्धांत।
Hi, sir, Siddhant. Sir, we have seen a court filing in which the Trump administration has claimed that because of the tariff threat that India-Pakistan were able to have that ceasefire understanding. What is India's stance on that court filing?
Okay. Madhu?
सर मधुरेंद्र, मैं न्यूज़ नेशन से। सर, ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के ठीक बाद अभी देखा जा रहा है कि पाकिस्तान के जो आतंकी हैं, खासतौर पे लश्कर तैयबा के आतंकी, जिनकी प्रमुख भूमिका जो है पहलगाम आतंकी घटना में रही, वो भारत विरोधी मंच सजा रहे हैं। वहाँ से भारत को धमकियाँ दी जा रही हैं और सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि उनके साथ पाकिस्तान की सेना की सुरक्षा दिखाई दे रही है, पाकिस्तान के मंत्री दिखाई दे रहे हैं। इस पर क्या इंडिया रिस्पॉन्ड करना चाहेगा?
Sir, Pranay Upadhyay from India Today Aaj Tak. My question is regarding the 3 Indians who are missing in Iran, and this is yet another incident in last few months with Indians have gone missing and there have been ransom calls. Is government of India aware about the fact that the ransom calls have been made from Pakistan and people have been asked to deposit money in Pakistani accounts? How are we taking up this issue and what is the response from the Iranian side?
Okay. Yeshi?
This is Yeshi Seli from Business India. I have 2 questions. One is on the uncertainty and instability in Bangladesh. There was talk of Professor Yunus submitting his resignation, then he had an all-party meeting. Is that a point of concern? And secondly, you had mentioned in the last briefing that there is no update yet on whether PM Modi will go for the G7. But with the new Prime Minister, is there likelihood of restoration of diplomatic ties? What is the situation between India and Canada right now?
Okay. So, पहला सवाल उमाशंकर आपका है। देखिए, जहाँ तक हमारी जो द्विपक्षीय बातचीत या संबंध या जो एंगेजमेंट है पाकिस्तान के साथ, उस पे हमारा पक्ष, हमारा रवैया बड़ा साफ है, क्लियर रहा है, कंसिस्टेंट रहा है। जैसे हमने पहले भी बताया कि कोई भी इस प्रकार का द्विपक्षीय संबंध दोनों देशों के बीच में सिर्फ और सिर्फ बायलैटरल या कि दो पक्षीय ही रहेगा। साथ ही साथ हम ये फिर से दोहराना चाहते हैं कि आतंकवाद और बातचीत दोनों साथ में नहीं चल सकता है। और जहां तक आतंकवाद का सवाल है, उस पे बात इस मुद्दे पे होगी पाकिस्तान से कि जो हम लोगों ने उन आतंकियों का सूची जो दिया था उनको कुछ साल पहले, उनको हमारे हवाले करें। इस बात का मैंने जिक्र पिछले जो प्रेस वार्ता हुआ था उसमें भी किया था। और जहाँ तक जम्मू कश्मीर का सवाल है, उस पर जो बातचीत होगी द्विपक्षीय रूप से, जो बायलैटरल ढंग से ही बात होगी, वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ इस बात पे होगी कि पाकिस्तान ऑक्यूपाइड कश्मीर यानी कि पाकिस्तान अधिकृत कश्मीर को कब का जो पाकिस्तान उसको इलीगल तरीके से, अवैध तरीके से उस पर कब्जा करके बैठा हुआ है, वो उस पर बात होगी कि कब वो उसको खाली करेगा अपना अवैध तरीके से उस पर जो कब्ज़ा है उसको। और जहाँ तक सिंधु जल संधि का, इंडस वाटर ट्रीटी का सवाल है, जैसा कि मैंने पहले भी कहा और फिर मैं दोहराना चाहता हूँ कि जब तक पाकिस्तान विश्वसनीय तरीके से अपना जो गतिविधि है आतंकवाद को बढ़ावा देने का, उसको जब तक नहीं ख़त्म करेगा, तब तक ये संधि जो है अबेंस में यानी कि स्थगित रहेगा। जैसा कि हमारे प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा अपने वक्तव्य में, और उसको मैं दोहराना चाहूँगा कि आतंकवाद और बातचीत दोनों साथ में नहीं चल सकता, आतंकवाद और व्यापार साथ में नहीं चल सकता है, और पानी और खून दोनों साथ में नहीं बह सकता। I would again reiterate this. We have been very clear and consistent in our position. I have said this in the previous presser last week, as also on the press engagement that we had on 13th of May. Our position in regard to Pakistan, in regard to engagement with Pakistan, has been clear and consistent. You are well aware of our position that any India-Pakistan engagement has to be bilateral. At the same time, we are clear that talks and terror don't go together. On terrorism itself, we are open to discussing the handing over to to India of noted terrorists whose list was given to Pakistan some years ago. I would like to underline that any bilateral discussion on Jammu and Kashmir will only be on the vacation of illegally occupied Indian territory by Pakistan, and on the Indus Water Treaty, it will remain in abeyance until Pakistan credibly and irrevocably abjures its support for cross-border terrorism, as the Prime Minister has said, and would like to repeat his words. Terror and talks cannot go together. Terror and trade cannot go together, and water and blood cannot flow together. Siddhant, you had a question regarding the court filing in the United States. I hope you've seen the court order as well. Our position on this particular issue that you mentioned has been well articulated. I would refer you to our position that was made clear on 13th of May. From the time Operation Sindoor commenced on 7th May till the understanding on cessation of firing and military action on 10th May, there were conversations between Indian and US leaders on the evolving military situation. The issue of trade or tariff did not come up in any of those discussions. External Affairs Minister has also made clear that the cessation of firing was decided upon through direct contacts between the DGMOs of India and Pakistan. So that should answer your question. मधु, आपका सवाल देखिए, जो आप बात कर रहे हैं कि वहाँ पर आतंकवादियों को सराहा जा रहा है, उनको माला पहनाया जा रहा है, तो कोई नई बात तो कह नहीं रहे हैं. हम लोग इतने सालों से इस बात से ज्ञात हैं, और सिर्फ हमको नहीं, दुनिया भर में लोगों को पता है कि पाकिस्तान को जब ये कहते हैं कि वो आतंकवाद का ग्लोबल केंद्र बिंदु है, एपिसेंटर है ग्लोबल आतंकवाद का, तो उसके पीछे कारण है और एक समझ है. उसी को आप देख रहे हैं आज, जो आपने जो जिक्र किया, जो बात कही आपने, मंच वाली बात, उसी का एक नज़रिया है. Pranay, on the question of missing Indians in Iran, you would have seen a statement made by our embassy as well in Iran. The 3 Indian nationals who had landed there some time back, they are missing, and we are in touch with the Iranian authorities. We are for locating them, for their safety and security, and for their eventual return home. We are in daily touch with the authorities there. We are receiving good cooperation from the Iranian side, and we are also in touch with the families. Obviously, family members in such situations, they have their own anxiety, etc. So we are extending all possible help. Hopefully, we'll be able to do our best in this situation. No, February was a different issue. What we are talking about is 3 Indian nationals who had gone to Iran recently in the month of May. Sorry? 3 भारतीय नागरिक जो ईरान हाल ही के महीने में, इस महीने ही गए थे, वहाँ पर उनके ऐसा खबर आया है कि उनसे कांटेक्ट नहीं हो पा रही है, वो लोग लापता हैं. इस बात को हमारे दूतावास ने वहाँ पर जो ईरानी सरकार है उनके समक्ष रखा है और उनसे मांगा है कि जिस प्रकार का भी सपोर्ट हो सके इन लोगों को खोजने में, उनकी सुरक्षा के लिए और उनके घर वापसी के लिए उनमें मदद करें. इस पे उनसे हम लगातार बातचीत कर रहे हैं उस सरकार से, और उनसे हमें अच्छा कोऑपरेशन, अच्छे साझेदारी मिल रही है इस बात पर. और साथ ही साथ वहाँ ये जो 3 लोग हैं उनके परिवारजन से भी हम लोग संपर्क में हैं. लिहाजा आपको पता है कि ऐसे समय में परिवार वालों को बहुत सारी कठिनाइयाँ होती हैं और उनको चिंता होना तो लाजमी ही है। Yeshi, your question regarding Bangladesh. See, on developments in Bangladesh, as far as our approach is concerned, and we remain, I would like to underline once again that we look at how we have approached our issues, our relationship with Bangladesh. We want a positive and constructive relationship with Bangladesh, one that is anchored in meeting the aspirations and the interests of people of both sides. So that is how I would look at your question. On the question of on update on Canada, India-Canada, last time as well there was a question, but our External Affairs Minister, he had a telecon with his Canadian counterpart. It happened last week or this week. This was the first call between the two foreign ministers. Earlier, our External Affairs Minister, our Prime Minister and our External Affairs Minister, they also congratulated their counterparts soon after the formation of the government, and the new government took over charge in Ottawa. In his latest conversation, the External Affairs Minister greeted the Canadian Foreign Minister on her new responsibilities, and both leaders had a discussion on the prospects for India-Canada ties going forward. Can we take more? Vijay Lakshmi?
सर विजय लक्ष्मी हूँ इंडिया टीवी से। सर बांग्लादेश की अंतरिम सरकार के जो मुखिया हैं मोहम्मद यूनुस साहब, उन्होंने सर 3 दिन पहले एक उनका वक्तव्य एक मीटिंग में जो कहा कि भारत की हेजेमनी की वजह से जो है बांग्लादेश में क्राइसिस है। इस वक्तव्य को वहाँ के राजनेताओं ने भी कहा कि ऐसा बात उन्होंने मीटिंग में कही थी। भारत किस तरह से इसको देखता है?
हुमा?
I'm Huma Siddiqui from Stat News Global. I have 2 questions. One, there were reports that Bangladesh has cancelled its defense deal worth $180 million, which is, I am assuming, comes under the line of credit that India had given to Bangladesh. So, if you have any update on that. And my second question is, would you have a number of how many Indians have been deported from the US so far?
Rishabh?
So good evening. So yesterday the news came in that in British Columbia legislatures have invited pro-Khalistan extremists, and they were hailed as well. Many of them with clear evidence where they had celebrated extremism in India as well. What's India's stand on that?
Vishal?
सर मैं विशाल हूँ एबीपी न्यूज़ से। कुछ मीडिया रिपोर्ट्स में ये दावा किया जा रहा है कि अमेरिका ने स्टूडेंट वीज़ा के अपॉइंटमेंट पर रोक लगा दी है, तो भारत के छात्रों पर इसका कितना असर पड़ता हुआ दिखाई दे रहा है?
अम्या?
So this is Soumya from Republic TV. Sir, any formal statement from you on lifting the ban on the visas for Afghans? And because there are reports doing the rounds, and with regards to what is happening in Iran, the Indians missing there, the number has significantly increased since last year. There was this boy from Bihar also last year. There was this case, and it has been significantly happening. So has this been the issue raised with the Iranian authorities?
Okay.
कुलभूषण जाधव ऐसे ही गायब हुए थे, और उसके बाद फिर हम लोग को पता है कि क्या हुआ था। तो उस कंसर्न से अगर देखें, उस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से अगर देखें, तो क्या ऐसी संभावनाएं कहीं नज़र आ रही हैं? पाकिस्तान क्योंकि बौखलाया हुआ है, इसलिए मैं बोल रही हूँ।
नहीं, ये जो 3 लोग गए थे किसी और कारण से वहाँ गए थे, ठीक है ना, और इसके बारे में वहाँ के सरकार से जानकारी हम लोगों ने ली है, और कि उनके बारे में पता किया जाए ताकि वो उनके सुरक्षा को हम लोग गारंटी कर सकते हैं। साथ ही साथ अगर वो देश वापस आना चाहे तो उन्हें वापस ला सकते हैं। सो लेट्स गो टू द क्वेश्चंस। बांग्लादेश, विजय लक्ष्मी आपका क्वेश्चन था, वहाँ पर जो अभी के हाल में दिन कुछ बयान आए उसके ऊपर, तो देखिए जहाँ तक वहाँ की सरकार है, वहाँ की सरकार की ये निजी जिम्मेवारी है कि वहाँ पर जो भी सरकारी या गवर्नेंस का जो इशू है, मसला है, उसकी जिम्मेवारी वो ले। ये कहना कि इस कारण से कोई दूसरा मतलब कि जो इस प्रकार की बयान जो आती है तो उसमें ऐसा लगता है कि आप डिफ्लेक्ट करना चाहते हैं किसी और दिशा में, अपने खुद के जो वहाँ पर आपके चैलेंजेस हैं, गवर्नेंस के चैलेंजेस हैं, और ये दूसरे के नाम पे ये लगा के कहना कि एक्सट्रेनियस इशू के कारण औरों के चलते इस कारण से ये गड़बड़ियाँ हो रही है, ये इससे समस्या का समाधान नहीं होता है। Huma, on see, India and Bangladesh have several defense cooperation initiatives under implementation. With regard to any specific example, one that you asked, I will be glad to revert to you after ascertaining more details on this issue. In regard deportation update, see, we have close cooperation between India and the United States on migration issues. On deportation of Indian nationals who have an illegal status there, who've traveled there illegally, we take them back once we receive details about them, the possible deportees. We verify that nationality, as we've told you before, and then only then we try to get them back. The update on the numbers is that since January of 2025, we have some 1,080 Indians who have come back or who have been deported from the United States. Of these, around 62% of them have come on commercial flights. So that is the update I would have for you. Rishabh, on a question regarding pro-Khalistan elements, you know our position has been very consistent over several months and years now. We've conveyed our security concerns to the Canadian side, and we have also urged them not to give any political space to extremist elements, those who advocate violence and those who talk about secession or who talk about separatism. I hope that the Canadian side will take due note and will take due action against those who advocate anti-India agenda. विशाल, जहाँ तक भारतीय छात्रों का सवाल है जो अमेरिका जाते हैं पढ़ने के लिए, 2023-24 में 3,30,000 भारतीय छात्र अमेरिका में पढ़ाई के लिए गए थे या वहाँ पर ये डेटा हम लोग के पास है। हाल ही में हम लोगों ने देखा है कुछ रिपोर्ट्स जिसमें कि यूएस सरकार की तरफ से कुछ अपडेटेड गाइडेंस आई है वीज़ा एप्लीकेशंस को लेके स्टूडेंट को। जहाँ तक भारतीय छात्रों का वेलफेयर का सवाल है, ये हमारे लिए एक सर्वोपरि है भारत सरकार के लिए, और जो भी इस प्रकार के घटनाएं या डेवलपमेंट्स होती हैं वीज़ा मैटर को लेके, हम उसको बड़ी पैनी नज़र से उसको फॉलो करते हैं, देखते हैं। और हम ये भी कहना चाहूँगा कि जहाँ तक वीज़ा पॉलिसी या वीज़ा के देने का सवाल है, ये एक सॉवरेन फंक्शन है, लेकिन हमारा ये मानना होगा कि जो भी एप्लीकेशन भारतीय छात्रों द्वारा दायर किया जाएगा उसको अपने मेरिट पे देखा जाए, ताकि जो हमारे छात्र लोग हैं वो अमेरिका सही समय पर अपने यूनिवर्सिटीज़ पहुँचे, ताकि अपने जो एकेडमिक प्रोग्राम है उसको सही समय पर वो ज्वाइन करें और सही समय पर उसकी शुरुआत हो। We have seen reports suggesting US government's updated guidance regarding student and exchange visitor visa applicants. The welfare of Indian students abroad remains of utmost priority to the Government of India. We will continue to further developments in this regard. While we note that issuance of visa is a sovereign function, we hope that the application of Indian students will be considered on merit and they will be able to join their academic programs on time. 2023-24, 330,000 students were there. This year, 330,000 students. This year, the updated figure we don't have, because we are talking about 2023-24. For updated figures, you can also visit the relevant websites of the US government. Possibly you'll get it there. Soumya, question regarding Afghan visa. We have a new module in place for Afghan nationals, new visa module now, new in place for Afghan nationals. This was, I think, put in place last month. The old visa module that we had, program, it was called E-Emergency X Miscellaneous Visa. That has been discontinued, and we have a new visa module for Afghan nationals, which came into effect on 29th April. So last month, 29th April. The all Afghan nationals can now apply for Indian visas in 6 categories, and they are medical visa, medical attendant visa, business visa, entry visa, student visa, and UN diplomatic visa. Afghan nationals who are in India on visas that were issued as per the old policy will have to now get it converted as per the new policy. They will have to approach the FRRO here in Delhi or in any other part of India, as the case may be. The new visa module will help strengthen India-Afghanistan people-to-people ties further. On Iran, missing Iran of Indian nationals, of the 3 Indian nationals who have recently gone missing, I've given you an update. In regard to what Pranay said, that there were earlier also cases of some people having gone missing. On that, I think people have returned back. So sometimes these things happen. As and when such things happen, we take up these issues seriously through our embassy, and we see that our nationals are provided for, and we take care of their welfare, their safety and security. आपका लगा वो सवाल था ना, वो आप उसको जोड़ रहे हैं. जहाँ तक भारतीय नागरिक का सवाल है, जब भी कुछ ऐसा होता है तो हम लोग वहाँ के सरकार से मिलके उनसे बातचीत करके उनको वापस उनकी सुरक्षा के लिए वापस लाना चाहिए, और घर वापसी के लिए उनसे बातचीत करते हैं ताकि वापस आएँ जल्दी से. हेलो.
Yeah, so there is a report that Bangladesh is building a humanitarian corridor with Myanmar. There are issues of security involved there. So I would like to hear your response.
Gautam?
The same question, because most of the political parties and including the Bangladesh army has opposed the idea for a proposed corridor, human corridor, whether there is an important and need, how India look at it, this corridor.
Shruti?
So, Shruti Randhir from Bloomberg, sir. Wanted India's understanding on the statement that President Trump gave, discouraging Apple to build in, to make in India, and especially after India made all that effort to bring the Apple ecosystem to India. And also, sir, if you could give us an update on the trade negotiations that have happened with India and US. Are we expecting an early harvest? If so, how early?
Thursday.
In a U.S. Court of International Trade, the U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has submitted a statement in which he has claimed once again that the U.S. not only mediated to avert what they call a nuclear conflict between India and Pakistan, but that trade was used as a leverage. You've probably seen the document. And I know that you have already from this very stage made your statement already on the US having no role. My question is, now that the US is saying this on the record under oath, because it's a statement that could invite perjury if it's not true, How is India going to get over this? I would bring your attention to the fact that on the day that this was submitted, May 23rd, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal was discussing the bilateral trade agreement there. The Foreign Secretary is in Washington. He has been meeting his counterparts. Has he raised this continuous American claim that has been denied on the record by India? I had a second short question, if you would permit. External Affairs Minister had gone to Germany. It was the first visit with the new government in place. I wondered if he brought up the issue of this young girl, Ariha, and whether there is any kind of new assurance from the German side that her case will be looked at again. Thank you.
Keshav?
Thank you, Sir. Keshav from The Print. My first question is, Secretary of State Marco Rubio last evening said that officials from countries will be, his exact statement is that there will be visa restrictions for officials from countries that harass American officials, which is a very wide-ranging term. So is India concerned about this? Because anything could be considered under this, and therefore Indian officials could get sanctioned or face restrictions by the new US policy. So has India looked through this? Is it aware? Does it have any position on this? And secondly, on the question raised with regards to the US affidavit in this international court, in this court on trade yesterday in the US, the judges threw out the tariffs. What is the understanding from the Indian side or any guidance to our exporters with regards to the reciprocal tariffs that have been introduced by the government, which now the court has said is not applicable? Is there any suggestion or guidance that the government has so far on this? Thank you.
Okay, Kalol and Gautam, your questions on this particular development regarding humanitarian corridor. As I think I've earlier also have spoken on this, we follow such developments closely. So on your question, see, the India-US bilateral trade agreement negotiations are going on. We just had a team visiting the United States. So we'll have to wait for the negotiations to come to conclusion, and as in we have an update, we'll share with you. But this is an ongoing matter, so you'll have to bear it with us. As also on trade negotiation, I told you that these are ongoing matters, and hopefully we will have something to update you as and when things come to a fruition. Suhasini, on your question, see, I have already answered our position on this particular issue. I was answering one of the previous questions. Now, I have stated my position, and when I state my position, I do it as spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs of the Government of India with flags on both sides. That has an implication. It means a lot. On Foreign Secretary's visit, Foreign Secretary is visiting the United States from 27th to 29th. You would have seen and followed the kind of meetings that he's been having there. We will have a readout of the visit hopefully soon. He met Under Secretary Jeffrey Kessler to advance India-US cooperation in critical and emerging technologies. He also he led our delegation comprising Deputy NSA for the inter-agency discussions on India-US Compact for the 21st century. This meeting happened in the White House, discussions at the White House, and it focused on implementing the trust initiatives, which again is about critical minerals and critical and emerging technology partnerships. They also discussed defense and cooperation in area of defense and energy domains, as well as strengthening the Quad, IMEC, ITU2 initiatives. Foreign Secretary also had a meeting with the Deputy Secretary of State, Christopher Landau, and they discussed all aspects of India-US relationship. In particular, they agreed that technology, tech, trade, and talent will shape the India-US partnership in the 21st century, and they both reaffirmed commitment to further strengthening the India-US comprehensive global strategic partnership. So whether this particular issue was raised, I would say that all issues of mutual interest was discussed between India and the United States. On the issue of Ariha Shah, we have been very closely following up this issue with the with the German authorities. I don't have an update to share, but hopefully we will come back to you. This is an important issue. We attached a lot of importance to it. We have been in touch with the government, not just the government authorities in Germany, but also the parents on our side, and we want to do our best to ensure our welfare and well-being. Keshav, see, visa matters, Keshav, are sovereign functions. So we'll have to, we saw some guidance coming from the United States on student visa matters. There we made a point that while it is a sovereign function, we expect and we hope that Indian students, application of Indian students will be considered on merit, and they'll be able to join their courses, their academic programs in the United States on time. There are other categories of visas which are also issued, and hopefully these are functions which lie in the sovereign domain, and we should be respectful of them. On the tariff issue, again, the affidavit that has been submitted on that particular issue, I have made our position very clear. I would refer you to our comments on that. Last 2 questions, please.
Salima Shivji, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. I just want to follow up on a question from a previous question from a colleague about India-Canada ties. Has India received an invite to the G7 in Canada?
Manas.
This is Manas from PTI. Again, a question on Bangladesh. Somebody had asked a similar question. Yeah, so we have seen fresh wave of protest in Dhaka, and every political party in Bangladesh actually are demanding early election. In fact, they are asking for a specific time frame. They're asking for the elections by end of this year or a specific time frame. But instead of answering these questions, Mohammad Yunus, the interim government chief, is trying to blame India by saying that the current crisis is a kind of product of conspiracy to establish Indian hegemony. So how do you see these developments, and particularly the very serious allegations by the interim head of Bangladesh?
So on Canada, I had spoken about your particular question in last presser. On that, I don't have an update. I have no information to share on this issue. Let me check and come back to you. On Bangladesh, Manas, we have articulated our position very clear as far as elections in Bangladesh is concerned, and we have done so consistently. Bangladesh needs to ascertain the will and mandate of the people by holding an inclusive, fair, and free elections at an early date. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the close of this session. Thank you very much.